8 long months had passed since Lydia's beloved dog, Charlie, vanished without a trace. Refusing to give up hope, Lydia combed through neighborhoods, posted flyers, and checked every animal shelter within miles. Then, a tip from a farmer led her to a vast field miles from home, where she spotted a familiar figure moving among the tall grass. As she approached, the sight of Charlie in the dim light of dusk brought her to a standstill, her heart sinking at the state he was in. The feeling of intense happiness Lydia experiences after finally holding her long-lost dog again quickly makes way for deep worry after getting a better look at the animal. During the time the animal was away, she had imagined 1,000,001 things that could have happened to Charlie, but this was not one of the things she anticipated. She could barely describe what she was seeing exactly. Her first assessment was that Charlie looked fairly healthy. He was not underfed or looking sickly, and he clearly still had a lot of spring in his step. But Lydia's concern mainly came from the way Charlie's fur was looking. The day he disappeared, he was still in possession of a pristine black coat of fur. But that had mostly changed in those 8 months and made way for something bizarre. Charlie's body was filled with strange markings and signs, painted in thin but string red lines all over the animal. And even though the markings were legible, Lydia had no idea what they had meant. She had never seen anything like that before, especially not on an animal. But where was she supposed to start? Welcome to Wonderbot Animals. For the past 8 months, she had gotten zero information about where Charlie could be. All she had done was put up posters, and in all honesty, she had not really done anything for the past couple of months. She had basically given up hope of ever finding the animal again. That was until she unexpectedly got the call from the farmer who had spotted Charlie on his farmland. That was who she needed to talk to first. She could see the house of the farmer from where she was standing. Lydia had passed it on the way onto the field, but she had not spoken to or even seen the owner. After the one tip he had given her over the phone, she has had no contact with the man. But if it was up to Lydia, that was going to change. She brought the strange-looking Charlie to her car and drove back to the farmhouse. When the farmer opened the door for her, it was clear that he was shocked when he was Charlie. He invited them both inside, and they sat down with a cup of tea. The farmer, who was named John, started to explain what he knew. He had seen the posters of the missing dog for months now, every time he went into the city. He had even taken a picture of them because he had found a missing dog on his land before. And then, this morning, it actually happened again. While he was ploughing the land, he suddenly saw a dog running in front of his machine. He immediately recognized it from the picture and the description of the missing poster. John called Lydia in that very instant, and she knew what happened from that moment on. John claimed that he had not seen all the red markings on Charlie's body. He had not come close enough to the animal, and even though Lydia had doubts, she did believe the farmer. Mainly because he also had another piece of information for her. Something that would make her even more concerned about the state she had found her beloved pet in. John had started thinking back to the other dog that he had found on his property about 3 years ago. It actually had very similar markings to the ones that were all over Charlie's body. The owner of the animal had also lost their dog for about 9 months before it showed up at his land. He had no idea what happened to the dog and the owner after that. He had not heard from them since then. Lydia was completely blown away that this had apparently happened before in such a similar way. It started to seem like there had to be a person responsible for this. But who? And why? She also wondered if there could be more dogs who had this happen to them. Lydia thanked the farm and headed home together with Charlie. But she would not have much time to enjoy his presence, as she was determined to get to the bottom of this strange situation. Lydia stepped into her home with Charlie, a mix of joy and worry in her heart. She carefully examined the red markings on Charlie's fur, perplexed yet determined to uncover the truth behind them. She knew that her journey to find answers was just beginning, a testament to her resolve to solve this peculiar mystery. Lydia wasted no time diving into her investigation online. She browsed forums and social media, looking for cases similar to Charlie's. Her efforts painted a picture of determination as she sifted through countless posts and comments, gathering any information that could lead her to understand the strange markings adorning Charlie's fur. During her search, Lydia stumbled upon stories from other pet owners whose dogs had experienced similar fates. She reached out to them, sharing photos and stories of Charlie, forging connections. This step created a network of concerned individuals, all united by the mysterious phenomenon that had touched their lives and the lives of their pets. Lydia's outreach efforts were met with enthusiasm. She and the other pet owners exchanged information and support, solidifying a burgeoning community of affected families. They shared a common goal: to understand and solve the mystery of the red markings. Lydia's role in bringing these people together showcased her leadership and her ability to mobilize others for a common cause. Motivated by her findings, Lydia took charge, organizing a meeting with the pet owners. She aimed to discuss their experiences in detail and strategize on next steps. Lydia's initiative to gather these individuals in person highlighted her commitment to finding answers and her readiness to lead the group towards uncovering the truth behind their pets' strange markings. Lydia and the pet owners gathered in a bright community centre room, laying out all the evidence they had on a large table. Photos of their dogs before and after their disappearances were compared side by side. Each owner brought their dog's medical reports, showing the red markings in detail. The room buzzed with a focused energy as they pieced together their shared mystery. As they shared their stories, a pattern emerged. Each dog had vanished from their yard and returned weeks or months later with red markings. The owners took turns describing the day their pet disappeared and the shock of their return. They listened to each other intently, finding comfort in the similarities of their experiences and the realization that they were not alone in this ordeal. Together, they began to analyze the photos and medical reports more closely. They noted the shapes and positions of the red markings, trying to find any common symbols or patterns. Some owners had even started sketching a map of their neighborhoods, marking the spots where their dogs were last seen and eventually found. The group was determined to understand the significance of these markings and their potential origins. The group used a large map to pinpoint potential areas where the dogs could have been taken. They drew circles around their neighborhoods, noting the distances between the disappearance and return locations. They discussed possible routes and areas that were common among the dogs' journeys. This strategic planning helped them narrow down their search area, focusing their investigation on specific locations that seemed to connect their stories. Concluding their meeting, they agreed it was time to seek official help. They compiled their photos, medical reports, and maps into a cohesive file. The group was unified in their decision to approach the police with their findings. They hoped that by presenting their collective evidence, they could convince the authorities to take their concerns seriously and help them uncover the truth behind the mysterious red markings on their pets. Lydia and the group, with their dogs in tow, walked into the police station, hopeful for support. They approached the front desk, explaining their situation and showing the evidence they had gathered. The dogs sat quietly by their sides, unknowingly at the center of this unfolding mystery. Their goal was to seek assistance in investigating the strange red markings and the pattern of disappearances. An officer listened to their story with a skeptical eyebrow raised. He examined the photos and reports, but seemed unconvinced by the unusual nature of their evidence. The group, sensing his hesitation, pressed on, emphasizing the pattern and the potential danger to other pets. Despite the initial setback, they felt even more determined to find answers on their own if necessary. Undaunted by the police's skepticism, the group decided to take matters into their own hands. They returned to the field where Charlie was found, scanning the area for clues. Their eyes searched the ground meticulously, looking for anything out of the ordinary. Their determination shone through as they worked together, combing through the tall grass and mud for any sign of who took their pets. Their efforts paid off when they discovered fresh tire tracks and dog footprints in the mud near where Charlie had been spotted. They documented the findings with their phones, realizing this was the first physical evidence of someone else's involvement. The tracks suggested a vehicle had been there recently, possibly connected to the mysterious disappearances of their dogs. Realizing they needed more information, the group decided to visit nearby farms, hoping to find someone with surveillance footage. They split up, knocking on doors and explaining their mission to the farmers they met. Each farm visit was an opportunity to gather new leads, and the group was hopeful that surveillance cameras in the area might have captured something useful. They were on the verge of a significant breakthrough. The group approached a welcoming farm, greeted by the owner who was eager to help. They explained their situation, and the farmer, understanding the gravity, agreed to share his security footage. The atmosphere was one of collaboration, as both the group and the farmer shared a common goal: to solve the mystery of the red-marked dogs. Huddled around the farmer's computer, they watched the security footage carefully. A vehicle and a figure were visible, even though the video was not clear. The group leaned in closer, trying to catch every detail, their hearts racing with the possibility that they were finally onto something concrete. This footage could be the lead they were desperately searching for. Despite the graininess of the video, they managed to identify the vehicle's make and model. This was a significant breakthrough, giving them a tangible clue to follow. The group took notes and discussed the implications, feeling a mix of excitement and urgency. They knew this information could lead them closer to unraveling the mystery. With the new evidence gathered, the group returned to the police station, hopeful and determined. They carried themselves with a renewed sense of purpose, ready to present their findings to the authorities. The prospect of making progress in their case brought a collective sense of optimism, pushing them forward in their quest for answers. At the police station, the group presented the video evidence with a detailed explanation of their discovery. They outlined the vehicle's make and model, emphasizing the significance of their find. Their dedication to solving the mystery was evident as they stood united, ready to work with the police to uncover the truth behind the red markings on their pets. In a well-lit police station, officers quickly got to work, typing the vehicle's description into their database. Screens flickered with information as they matched details against registered vehicles. The group watched intently, understanding the crucial role of technology in modern policing, hopeful that this search would lead them to the next clue in their quest. The breakthrough came when officers used traffic camera data to cross-reference the vehicle's description. They pinpointed the license plate, demonstrating the critical role of public surveillance in solving crimes. The group leaned closer, eager to see the screen as the officer highlighted the license plate number, a key piece in the puzzle now in their hands. With the license plate identified, the police traced the car to a local resident. This discovery narrowed the investigation's focus significantly, offering a tangible lead to pursue. The group exchanged looks of hope and determination, realizing they were one step closer to solving the mystery that had brought them together. Acknowledging the group's diligent effort, the police decided to investigate the vehicle's owner further. Officers outlined their plan, detailing how they would approach the suspect. The group's persistence had paid off, marking a significant turn in their quest for answers. They understood the importance of this moment, ready to support the investigation in any way they could. As the police laid out their next steps, Lydia and the group felt a whirlwind of emotions, relief that their efforts were yielding results, mixed with anticipation of what was to come. They stood together, a testament to their determination, ready to face whatever the investigation would reveal next, knowing that this was just another chapter in their ongoing quest. The investigation led them to a man named Giovanni. His connection to the vehicle provided a crucial lead. With this information, the group and officers prepared to visit Giovanni's house, eager to understand his role in the mystery. Their determination was palpable as they set out, knowing this could be a significant step forward in their quest. Arriving at Giovanni's residence, the group felt a mix of apprehension and resolve. The house looked quiet and unassuming, yet they knew this visit could reveal much about the red markings. As they walked up the driveway, they braced themselves for a possible confrontation, ready to face whatever or whoever lay inside. The house was silent as they entered, adding to the tension. They immediately noticed red markings similar to those on the dogs, scattered throughout the living room. This eerie discovery confirmed their suspicions of a direct link between Giovanni and the mysterious occurrences. The group moved cautiously, absorbing every detail that could shed light on the situation. Police officers began to systematically search the house, ensuring it was safe to proceed. They carefully documented everything, taking pictures of the red markings and noting the overall state of the house. This methodical approach was crucial for gathering evidence and piecing together Giovanni's involvement in the case. In one room, they found a dog, seemingly well cared for, with access to food and water. This presence of a dog, along with the red markings inside the house, added complexity to the mystery. The group pondered what this meant about Giovanni's intentions and how it connected to their pet's disappearances and alterations. This discovery fueled their determination to unravel the truth. Inside Giovanni's house, the team worked with precision, photographing each room and noting every detail. They focused on areas with the red markings, cataloguing their locations and patterns. This thorough documentation was crucial, ensuring they had a strong foundation for their case against the mysterious happenings involving the dogs. Amidst the investigation, the group's attention turned to the well-being of the found dog. They ensured it had food and water, showing their kindness despite the unfolding mystery. This moment highlighted their humanity as they balanced the urgency of their mission with the immediate needs of an innocent animal caught in the middle of the situation. As they delved deeper into Giovanni's belongings, the extent of his obsession with red markings became increasingly clear. Books, notes, and sketches scattered around the house provided insight into his psychological state, suggesting a deep-seated fixation that might explain the bizarre circumstances surrounding the dogs and their markings. Seeking further insights, the police began interviewing Giovanni's neighbours. These conversations aimed to build a clearer picture of his lifestyle and behaviours. Neighbours shared observations about Giovanni's habits and any unusual activities they had noticed, contributing valuable pieces to the puzzle of understanding his actions and motivations. With Giovanni still at large, the decision was made to set up surveillance around his house. The team installed cameras and arranged shifts to monitor any activity, hoping to catch Giovanni upon his return. This strategic move was crucial, representing their determination to apprehend the suspect and uncover the full extent of his involvement in the mystery. The team gathered valuable insights from Giovanni's neighbours, painting a picture of his unusual behaviour. These conversations provided crucial context for his actions, helping the group and police understand the complexities of the case. The neighbours' observations added depth to their investigation, reinforcing their determination to solve the mystery surrounding the red markings. Together, the group and police meticulously planned an ambush at Giovanni's house. They reviewed every detail of their strategy, ensuring they were prepared for any scenario. This preparation phase was critical, highlighting their collective resolve to bring the situation to a resolution and uncover the truth behind the red markings on the dogs. To ensure their plan remained undetected, they carefully repaired the front door of Giovanni's house. This attention to detail was essential, as they didn't want to alert Giovanni to their presence. By maintaining the appearance of normalcy, they aimed to catch him off guard, showcasing their strategic approach to solving the case. As the ambush was set, the group waited anxiously, their anticipation for a resolution growing with every passing moment. This period of waiting was a test of their patience and resolve, with each member lost in their thoughts but united in their hope for a successful outcome. Their vigil underscored the gravity of their mission and their deep commitment to finding answers. Throughout this tense period, the group continued to care for the dog found in Giovanni's house, showing empathy and compassion for the innocent animal. They ensured it was well fed and comfortable, all while noting the dog's familiarity with the red markings. This care not only highlighted their kindness, but also served as a reminder of the strange circumstances that had brought them all together. As Giovanni unsuspectingly returned to his house, the police, lying in wait, quickly moved in for the arrest. The sudden action caught him off guard, marking a crucial moment in the investigation. The group watched from a distance, their hearts racing as they saw the culmination of their efforts lead to this pivotal moment, hopeful that this would bring them closer to understanding the mystery. At the police station, Giovanni was unyielding, offering no responses to the questions about the dogs or the red markings. His silence during the interrogation underscored the difficulty of the situation as the police and the group sought to peel back the layers of the case to understand his actions and motivations behind the mysterious events. In a strategic move, Lydia brought Charlie to the police station, hoping to break through Giovanni's silence. She believed that an emotional connection might trigger a response from him. The group and the officers watched intently as Lydia and Charlie entered the interrogation room, setting the stage for a moment they hoped would turn the tide in their quest for answers. The moment Giovanni saw Charlie, a noticeable change came over him. His initial silence broke down as he displayed an unexpected affection towards the dog. This reaction suggested a deeper emotional bond between him and the animals, hinting at a complex backstory that had yet to be fully uncovered. The group observed this breakthrough, sensing they were on the verge of understanding Giovanni's motives. Spurred by his emotional reaction to Charlie, Giovanni began to open up, sharing details about his actions. This moment of vulnerability marked a turning point in the investigation, as Giovanni's willingness to reveal information promised new insights into the case. The group and the police listened carefully, hopeful that these revelations would finally shed light on the strange occurrences that had brought them all together. Giovanni's meeting with Charlie and Lydia visibly moved him, stirring emotions of guilt and reflection. As he interacted with Charlie, the change in his demeanor was evident, signaling a moment where his defenses began to crumble, revealing the man behind the actions that had puzzled the community for so long. He began to share his story, revealing his battles with schizophrenia. Giovanni explained how his condition drove him to seek companionship in the dogs he took, marking them as his own in a misguided attempt at connection. His confession provided critical insight into his actions, helping Lydia and the police understand the complexities of his mental state. Giovanni admitted to the kidnapping and marking of the dogs, detailing his process and the twisted logic behind it. He explained his method of selecting dogs and how he cared for them, albeit in a way that was difficult for others to understand. This admission was a key moment in the investigation, shedding light on the extent of his actions. He rationalized his decision to release the dogs, attributing it to a conflicted sense of care shaped by his schizophrenia. Giovanni believed he was helping the dogs in his own way, despite the harm his actions caused. This rationale provided a glimpse into his troubled mind, illustrating the complicated relationship he had with his own intentions and actions. As Giovanni shared his story, Lydia and the police began to piece together his narrative, integrating their findings with a newfound understanding of mental health issues. This comprehension marked a significant development in the case, transitioning their perspective from seeking a perpetrator to understanding a deeply troubled individual struggling with his mental health. Giovanni's trial became a focal point for discussions on mental health and legal responsibility. The courtroom was a blend of legal professionals, community members, and the media, all engaged in debates that extended beyond the trial. This public discourse reflected a growing awareness and sensitivity towards the complexities of mental health in the justice system. In a significant decision, the court prioritized Giovanni's psychiatric treatment over prison time, recognizing the pivotal role of mental health in his actions. This sentencing not only highlighted the justice system's capacity for compassion, but also set a precedent for handling similar cases in the future. It was a moment that underscored the importance of understanding and addressing the root causes of behavior. The dogs Giovanni had taken began their journey of readjustment, supported by veterinarians and animal behaviorists. This process was not just about physical health, but also emotional recovery for both the dogs and their owners. It symbolized a collective healing, bridging the gap between the trauma of the past and the hope for a more understanding future. Lydia emerged as a vocal advocate for mental health awareness and animal safety, driven by her experiences. She organised community seminars, worked with local schools, and collaborated with mental health organisations, spreading a message of compassion and understanding. Her efforts illustrated personal growth and the potential for individual experiences to catalyse societal change. United community. The community, having been through a challenging and complex ordeal, grew more empathetic and united. Neighbourhood gatherings, support groups, and volunteer initiatives flourished, inspired by the story's events. This newfound unity and empathy marked the beginning of a more compassionate community, ready to support each other through challenges and advocate for understanding across all spheres of life.